Hi guys, I'm Rian. This is
Cameron. This is Reese.
as you guys know, we are in the process of looking for a new role model for Cameron. Okay, so guys, I'm going to tell you about a young man called David. Okay, David was a young man, and he had brothers that was big and strong. He had a total of 8. Okay, and then one day, well, let me say this: David used to take care of his dad's sheep. So he would be in nature like we are now, and he would attend to his dad's sheep. Okay, so when lions or bears used to come, he used to chase them away. So he was a very brave man. Okay, then one day there was a war, and his other brothers got sent to war. Okay, and they had to go fight the Philistines. Okay, but David was too young. He had to stay home and still watch over the sheep. And one day his dad said, "David, go to your brothers and take this food for them." Okay, so when he got there, the Israelites were on the one side of a river and the Philistines were on the other side of the river. And the Philistines had a giant, a big giant. And this giant was taunting the Israelites. He's like, "Send me one man to fight, and if that man can win me, we'll be your slaves." Because he knew he was a giant. Nobody had the guts to fight against him. But when David got there, he asked his brothers, they're like, "Hey, why are you allowing this guy to taunt you guys and to make a joke out of our God? Our God is a big God." And they're like, no, we're all scared of this guy. He's too big. Nobody can fight him. So David said, "Let me fight him." So the king said, "Okay, you can fight him." So he dressed him up in all sorts of military armor. And David said, "No, this is too heavy for me. I can't fight with this. I'm a young boy. This is too heavy for me. I can't barely move in it." And so he took off all of this stuff and he said, "I'm going to fight this giant with my slingshot." So he goes down to the river, picks up 5 little rocks, and he walks to the giant. And the giant says, "Am I a dog? So you send a young boy with a stick and a stone to come and fight me?" And David answered him, he said, "You come with a sword and a spear, but I come with the Lord." So David took the slingshot and he hits the giant in the forehead. Dead. So the Israelites won. Because when all the other Philistines saw that a young boy killed a giant, they were so scared they just ran away, because what will the other guys do? Okay, that young boy called David eventually became the king of the country because of his bravery. So what do you learn out of this story?
That you mustn't take power over other people. And you must always worship the Lord.
Always worship the Lord. That's very, very good, very good.
And always bring weapons to protect yourself.
Always take a weapon to protect yourself, yes. And if you've got the Lord with you, you don't have to fear anybody. There's no bully in school that is bigger and stronger. There's no adult that's bigger and stronger. Because why? If I live the right way, and if I've got the Lord with me, nothing can ever, ever, ever beat me. Cool story, eh?
Yes, very cool story.
And he was only a young boy, like you, and like you.
It was time for war when God's people saw the Philistines in between Zeke and Sakar. But God had Saul in the place, so both of these armies was practically face to face. The Philistines had a dude that was leading they crew. He was 9'2" and nasty and rude and mean as they come. And he was known for beating other soldiers like drums. He was undefeated, he had the full armor. I don't think that he needed it, cause he would look down and laugh, take a swing and chop his enemies in half. And his name was Goliath, and all of Saul's soldiers thought that they would die if they ever fought with the giant. So they laid low and they wasn't even trying. They said it's like killing yourself. Goliath saw this, he started feeling himself. He hollered out, "Listen up, chief, we don't need whole armies to settle this beef. Pete, send over your coldest soldier. If he could fade me, we be your slaves and you own us. But if he tries to take off, I'll beat his brakes off, slice his face off, or chop his waist off, leave him in two. Your army can't harm me, punk. Now what you won't do?" And Saul and his crew was looking at each other like, "Dude, he talking to you." And they was all scared to face dog. They like, "You heard him, he chopping faces and waists off." And nobody moved. Everybody scared to die, so they was scared to lose. And Goliath was so cool. For 40 days in a row, yo, this is what he do. He stand there, rip off his shirt, draw a line in the dirt and scream, "Who wanna get hurt?" Every morning he'd get up, the Israelites would watch him do 1,000 sit-ups. Boulders he'd pick up without even trying. His army would get behind him and sing, "Goliath, Goliath." And he would start cabbage patching and fall down laughing, and nothing would happen. Nobody made a peep, but God had a plan. He was watching the sheep. And his name was David from Bethlehem. He was the youngest of 8 kids, and his job was to shepherd 3 brothers in the army. Sometimes he would be Saul's helper. One day his father said, "Dave, take this food to your brothers and make sure that they're okay." So he left the next day, and Saul's army was still in the same place. David was so happy to see his big bros. He ran up to him and he gave him big hugs. He said, "Is everything cool?" That's when he heard Goliath.
Okay, guys, thanks for joining us. And just remember, like I said, courage is not the absence of fear. It is doing what is right in the presence of fear. Stay cool.